What's up, YouTube? So, first league of the day, running through AspiringSpike's Grixis Dressed Down Death Shadow list. This is the list that Spike just recently top 8'd the Hunter Burton Memorial. I have no idea why that is so difficult for me to say. Top 8'd the Hunter Burton Memorial with this past weekend. It's a list that I know he's been putting a lot of time and effort into playing on stream. We played through one league with it, maybe two, I can't remember. But I've recently gone back through, watched some of his gameplay. So hopefully I can do the deck a little more justice than I did last time. So some of the notable inclusions for this list, as opposed to like other Grixis Death Shadow lists, 4 copies of Ragavan and 4 copies of Dragon's Rage Channeler give you 8 really good 1-drop threats. We've got 4 copies of Expressive Iteration. The sorcery, let's get the preview up. There you go. Sorcery from Strixhaven. By now you've probably seen what it does. Basically get to draw 2 out of the top 3 cards of your deck in a deck that's got such a low CMC. We've got 3 copies of Dress Down, the namesake card from Modern Horizons 2. 1 in a blue for a flash enchantment. When it enters, you draw a card, so it replaces itself. Creatures lose all abilities. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice it. So if you flash Dress Down in like on your opponent's end step, you can untap and play like a 2-mana 6/6 WhUrza without having to sacrifice it. You can also play it to turn your shadows into 13/13s. You can play it to neuter opponents' creatures with like enter the battlefield effects, like the Elementals deck. Things like Solitude, Fury can give you nightmares. Dress Down gives you another way of dealing with those. And then at worst, it's just going to be a 2-mana cantrip. Just replace itself. We've got the Death Shadow base of Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt, Drown in the Lock, Mishra's Bauble, adding in Unholy Heats for a little extra punch on creatures and planeswalkers. In the sideboard, we've got 2 copies of Flusterstorm. Flusterstorm's been really impressive for me when I've played it recently. But really great against the Rhinos decks, Living In, things like that. Additional copy of Dress Down for decks like Elementals, decks with annoying ETB effects for their creatures. 2 copies of Alpine Moon for Tron, WhUrza Saga. Unholy Heat and a couple Terminate for a little extra removal. 3 Soul Guide Lanterns for Grave Hate. 1 Unearth for a little bit extra recursion. The grindy mid-range matchups, especially when you want to unearth your Luris. 2 copies of Engineered Explosives for the Go Wide decks, the Pro Red guys, things like Hammer Time. Prepare to face 3 blue-white WaFo control. Probably, like I know it won one of the challenges this past weekend. So, I'm not exactly surprised that people would be on it. We'll see how it goes if we do play against it. Haven't looked at the list yet. Waffles, I mean. Let's see. Oh, he didn't win. It was 2nd place. Sorry. Oh no, he did win 1. He won the challenge in 2nd place in the super qualifier. That's what it was. Starfall, is this the same list Spike ran? Yes. It is the exact same 75 that Spike ran. But you did remind me that I need to update Stream Decker. It is updated. Yeah, I lost to Esper Control and Blue-White Control on Friday. Yuck. Probably all over the place, like Bench said. Let's see, he's got a Solitude, a Snapcaster, 4 Little Teferi, 4 Prismatic Ending, 4 Counterspell, 4 Archmage's Charm, 2 Cryptic Command, 2 Factor Fiction, 3 Supreme Verdict, 2 Chalice of the Void, 4 Shark Typhoon, 2 Spreading Seas. That's all in the main. Yeah. These Flusterstorm, Celestial Purges, Sanctifier, and Vec in the sideboard. Tempted by the Auric. 1 and 3 blue. For each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls with mana value 3 or less. New settings all over the place. So we've got an Inquisition. We can bolt ourselves and get a turn 2 shadow. Roll with it. I'd like to see like a good 1-drop, but it's hard to throw back a hand that's got a potential Scry plus an Inquisition on 1 and a turn 2 shadow if I need to race. Iteration. Yeah, I'll take an iteration. Solid draw off the top. Grove of the Burn Willows. Nah. Let's see. Am I just taking the Stirrings? I'm probably just gonna like kill something this upcoming turn and then plan on iterationing the turn after to make sure I can find a land. Let's see. This dress down can kill some constructs. So that'll be really nice to have. Let you come into play. Use the bolt because it turns on Delirium so I can have Unholy Heat later. Let's go Shadow to hand, Thoughtseize to exile, and we'll go ahead and Thoughtseize because I know that we get to take a Walking Ballista at worst. Jeez, calm down, OP. What am I taking? The other Ravager. It looks like they're gonna try to make a construct. Pretty good for me here. I just get to go double shadow. And my goal is to dress down on their instep so that both of these shadows become 13/13s. Oh, they chose not to have me gain life. Even better. Even better. So much, opponent. Now you have. Station module, sure. Lista for one. Instep. Well, I didn't want to dress down in response to the ballista. I wanted to dress down instep so I could untap and kill them. If I dress down in response to the ballista, then the dress down sacks at the end of their turn. Oh, just saying, yeah. Yeah, you're right. So, like, what Bench is talking about is if you dress down in response to the walking ballista, it enters, but it doesn't get the counters added to it. It loses the ability to get the counters and just dies. So, yes, you are correct on that one. So I know I want the 4th dress down for like the constructs, Alpine Moon. Same with Murktide's Delve with 5 instants and sorceries. Very true as well. All those like ETB counter things just cease to exist. Alright. I'm not too excited about Ragavan here. Crox's kind of meh. I could trim some amount of hand disruption if I want to keep in some number of these. Matt, how's it going? Don't want to keep any of these in. Maybe I could keep in like a Miser Ragavan just in case I see it. I think it just gets kind of stonewalled really quick. Just in case I see it. Alright, what do I think here? Really don't like this hand. 4 lands, Ragavan, 1 piece of interaction. If they go like something I don't care about on 1 into Arcbound Ravager on 2, this hand could be okay. I think I can do better. I want to keep my threat, keep my land, my Inquisition, keep at least a bauble. Dress down, or not the dress down, the drown in the lock. Mainly because I don't have extra ways past this 1 Inquisition to get something off the board. If one of these cards was like another removal spell, I'd probably ditch like the dress down, but not. Horrible. We'll just go out here. Pyrite Spell Bomb. Take the Ravager. I swear that light just went out. Yeah, it did. Okay, ring light, you're gonna have to pull some weight. Let's see. Blue. Gonna have to like find an angle that provides enough light without being like super bright. Alright. So it looks like they're gonna give me a chance to respond to this walking ballista. To a walking ballista. They're gonna construct this up instead. I'm just gonna kill this. Their hand is walking ballista, dismember, basic forest. Don't need light when you have the shadow. Shadow is pretty nice. Walking ballista, sure. They choose not to put the counter on the ballista. Alright, so let's go shadow to hand, delta to the bottom, unholy heat to exile. This is nice because it lets me save this dress down to potentially respond to a dismember on a shadow. Make it a little 13-13. I want to dash a Ragavan. They're either making a construct and blocking it or letting it go. If they dismember it, I just play a shadow. They dismember when it died when you sacrifice dress down. Yeah. Wouldn't it? Forgot this triggers at the beginning of the end step and not like end of turn. So dismember is gone. Got 2 unknown cards in hand. Another construct. Another construct, not another WhUrza saga. Ain't no hanger back, girl. Alright. What's my plan here? I can attack with a shadow. If they don't block, dress down bolt. kills them. And we're reborn the ultimate dress down counter. Close, isn't it? Give our opponent a chance to really. Uh-huh. Alright, I'm just gonna tarn and pass here and sit on the second dress down. If I get to respond to something like a construct being made... Oh, crap, kill the shadow into turn. Ah, I forgot to fetch. I should have fetched. My punt. Should still be okay, but definitely a punt. Dress down is a complicated card. Like, I keep thinking that this card is sacrificed at the end of your turn, like after your end step, and not the beginning of your end step. I'm used to, like, damage and the effects going away at the same time. And then they don't. Alright, so let's rest down here. What we draw into. Go ahead and fetch and shock some, lose some life. Just so they can't come in and, like, get a pithing needle naming Scalding Tarn. Yeah, Golgari, that's what we wanted to avoid. Otech, not a fan of the third Croxa, second Vents, and third Dress Down. Will Spike cut the third Croxa from the list he played this weekend at the Hunter Burton Memorial? Fail to find? Yes. Lightning bolt me, please. I dressed down to the trigger just because I didn't know what he was going to get off of WhUrza Saga. And my policy is usually like, I'm really bad at knowing all the cards available. So if I can play around something by just doing this now, I'm fine with it. And since he spent like almost all of his mana playing or making a construct, then I would just get to untap with like a shadow and a bolt and at least be able to put him down to 3 if I wanted to. And it just plays around me not knowing something he could get. Like, if you were 100% sure you knew your opponent's deck list, or you know all the cards in Modern and you don't make those mistakes like me, then yeah, waiting till end of turn is strictly better. But I don't trust myself, so I dress down then. Love to play first. Bolt yourself if you won't. Coward. An Allurus mirror. Third dress down the sideboard, but it's bad in some matchups. I board out Grixis a lot. Snapper K command over the third Grixis. Yeah, like the earlier iterations of this deck were running K commands, but it's since been cut, and since it's not my list, like I want to keep it as close to stock as I can. Dogfish, how's it going? Way you jumped out earlier, we assumed you were just like going down to the hospital already. The Canonist main deck's kind of wild. Another Esper Sentinel. Dispatch. They have the dispatch the first time and I just like completely missed it. Fire these off. Yeah, getting close to the new baby. Little dog guppy coming around. Dog fry. Dog spawn. Figure out some name eventually. I'll go to dash a little Ragavan here. Kind of thinking they're gonna dispatch this. And they probably should have dispatched before damage. Alright, Cavern. Let's hang on to this bolt for a second. Might need to kill Allurus. To the devil. If he wants to trade a giver for a Ragavan. The dog father. See, Grixis feels always awkward if you don't get mid-range matchups. Dress down is your best weapon versus WhUrza Saga decks. If you don't have the meta, you probably shouldn't play the deck at all. Like, that's a lot of the issue I was running into last time I played this. Was I just kept getting in situations where, like, I wanted to dress down end of turn into a Grixis, and I felt like I was taking a couple turns off to just like not really do anything. Here's Luris. I'm just gonna cast this Ragavan and get it into play. Not try to get fancy and dash it. I want Mike to dress down. Heyo. Heyo. So it's a food deck. Oh, we're almost at Pithing Needle. Or not Pithing Needle, Dispatch territory. But if they let me untap, it's a good sign. Oh, they can just do that. That's fair. That's fair. Also fair. Yeah. I don't look at what they're drawing. Another giver. See, I'm going to try out Sultai Rogue's list tonight with a couple changes. Sounds like a plan. Let me know how it goes for you. Alright, so we'll go Blood Crypt. We'll go Bauble to hand, Thoughtseize to the bottom, Blood Crypt to exile. Play that tapped. Their Bauble. There you go. We know they're drawing into a... It's a good draw. They're drawing into a giver here. Like they're planning on just discarding it. Hang it out. Why would you not play it off the cavern so I can't counter it? Alright, so I'm gonna counter this. Play the Esper Sentinel off the Ragavan. WhUrza. Oh, it is. It's not a human, is it? Good call. Good call. What'd they name a Needle? They named Bloodstained Mire. And I get a free Esper Sentinel here. That one. WhUrza. Alright. Opponent's had enough. Let me change up one quick. I need... Where is... Now we can zoom in on stuff. Alright. So, Orzhov, Asmo, food, shenanigans. Didn't see an WhUrza Saga, but I'm expecting it. EE looks really good here. Got Dispatch, so Unearth doesn't seem that great. Unholy Heat's probably fine. Doesn't see much that makes you want to bring in Soul Guide. Cluster Storm's probably just like overdoing the counter line. Let's see. We're down on a WhUrza. They had Luris, so no oval chases. So I'm not worried about the graveyard portion of it. good question. They had a bunch of stuff that can stand in front of a Ragavan. Maybe I don't want the extra WhUrza. Kind of strange, no Daredevil. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of like how important you think having Lurrus is. I mean, that's the back and forth, right? Like you're either on Lurrus or you're on Daredevil. Okay, hand. Got interaction. Aether Vial? Okay. Do you, Home Slice? Alright, do I want a Channeler or do I want a Thoughtseize? Yeah, they already drew with their bauble, so I think I'm just gonna Thoughtseize here. And save, like, Channeler, Bauble, Bolt for next turn. Watch out for Asmo off Vial. Ooh. Yeah, but if they Asmo off Vial, they have to go get Cookbook, and I can Thoughtseize the Cookbook. This is a weird deck. I want to take on a one lander. They can file for one next turn. Like, do I care about the Cookbook if they've got to discard just like good cards? Portable Hole's their only answer to my Channeler. Portable Hole's dead until I decide to play out a creature. I'm just gonna take Esper Sentinel. It's like the annoying card that I think gives them a chance at getting back in the game. Rolls are good. Go. Channeler. Because if they can't Portable Hole without drawing into another untapped land. Stat. I'll keep it down. I'm gonna have like a free draw off this bauble anyway, so it's just like card that does something. All right. Portable Hole Canonist. Why? Why would you not vial in the Canonist so you could portable hole. Pelican Canonist. EE on one for Sims backbreaking. I'd believe that. Now we've got something that could sort of be confused with a clock. I'll fetch and shock to play Shadow here so that I can get it down as a 3/3. Have it be bigger than this Canonist. Sego. They violin for 2. Can't play anything this turn anyway with Canonist. But now I can interact with the portable hole. Take a lightning bolt. So we swing with both. If they don't block, we dress down, hit them for 13, 16, then bolt on their upkeep. Like another Canonist. We're definitely killing this. So, if I dress down, like right now, they just chump with a Canonist, right? And I want them to block with the Sanctifier. I can't get Delirium, so keep that. I could just bolt the Canonist and keep my Channeler around. Am I interested in that at all? I want to keep my Channeler. Yeah, good with that. It's like after iteration or dress down, Channeler's going to be live again anyway, so... Channeler is a good boy. Some might even say the best of boys. An aggressive attack. You in fact want that. I know that's going to hand regardless. I wouldn't mind seeing a red fetch land. So we'll put brown to hand. Iteration on the bottom, Alpine Moon to exile. What do you call it when you cast 2 expressive iterations and then pass the turn? Just iterations? I don't know, what do you call 2 expressive iterations and pass the turn? What's the scientific name? So if they find 3rd land, they can add Luris, file in Luris. Or is this going to be like excessive iterations? Alright. WhUrza champion here to ruin the fun again. You can't have a typo in there. It takes away from the joke. Also, uncounterable WhUrza champion should be banned. But we do just have lethal attacks with these channelers next turn. So this is fine. Okay. Even want to gain his life? Alright. Update. Am I supposed to put this under Grixis Shadow, or is this like only under does this have to be like its own category? And we'll just Grixis Shadow. So what do we play round 1? Black, white, food. So X food. This round was mono white artifacts. This has got to be miscellaneous. Match number 3. See what we got. Mike, you're just mad because your mom feeds you applesauce. Checks out. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in 10 minutes after the mute. I'm not gonna mute you. If Steven wants to, he's welcome to. I can ban you permanently. Alright. Match number 3. Oral Malt. Pretty decent hand. All the hardened scales today. Did I upset some like hardened scales deity? Chalice of the Void. Pick move opponent. Imagine being Mike's biggest fan, playing him with the sweet brew. Put up a good fight and go join the stream to say GG. All you hear is, yeah, that deck was just miscellaneous. I mean, shouldn't have played a miscellaneous deck. It's more the fact that I don't think I'm ever going to see that deck again. So I throw it in miscellaneous. Take a shadow. Try every team. So we know about Walking Ballista, Temple Garden, unknown. Stirrings. So I can Lightning Bolt to enable this, or to get this channeler up to a 4/4. 3/3. 3/3. Math is tough. 1/1 +2 obviously becomes a 4/4. Why are we not running Stubborn tonight? Really hope you play that Ravager instead of the Walking Ballista. Ever lucky. Four Chandler. Would have been like another Chandler we know. 2 mana 1/3. Could be a woman with the last name Elanius. Hello, Miss Elanius. What about Mrs. Elanius? So you have to attack. So I want to try to bait the counters off this Walking Ballista. Got Temple Garden, Arcbound Ravager. Like, I could play the Shadow, play the fetch land, and then go to crack the fetch and see if they respond by, like, trying to double ping the Shadow. Then I could bolt myself. Worth it. I guess my alternative is like pass, dress down in response to the Ravager, and then like bolt the Ravager or something. But we'll do it.
Yeah.
Sixth. Trying to kill my stuff. All right. Rest downing or my lightning bolting? And it worked. Chunky worker. Okay. My plan is what? Wratham. Talking about dress down in response to the Ravager, and the Ravager just dies. Yeah, that was probably the better play. But here we are. Back with both, so if they don't block, they just die. They do block. Go through with the expressive iteration. They've got to respond to this by sacking things somewhere where they lose I guess that is lethal next turn.
I think all art and imagination at some point leads you to think about things that aren't true.
This by Unholy Heating. Ravager. Only have one artifact to sack, and it's an Ozolith, so Ravager's not going to live.
I think that it's the job of the artist to push the boundaries of what we're comfortable with.
Isn't DD great against these decks because it's kill spell for the modular creatures? Isn't that how it works? Yeah, it's a kill spell in the pretty sure it's a kill spell for the modular guys. They just don't enter with a +1/+1 counter because they lose modular. Like they never enter with modular. They don't gain a +1/+1 counter. All right, so they die. Yeah, if you dress down in response to the modular creature, yes, they would die. You just have to remember that, like, there's going to be times where you want to have your shadow be a 13/13 on your turn. And if that's the case, you have to like wait until end of turn because the dress down is going to sack on their turn. We did something. The first one I brought in Alpine Moon because we saw WhUrza's Saga. This one I didn't see WhUrza's Saga, so I don't know if I'm supposed to bring it in until I see Saga, or if I should bring it in preemptively.
Asking the question,
like, they're supposed to play Saga, right? Card's just nuts for them.
And we saw it in the Dadaist movement painting, and we saw a kind of backlash against that with hyper-realism and photorealism. So,
Well, I mean, like, knowing your opponent's exact deck list isn't always that simple. Like, are they supposed to play Saga? Yes, the card's insane for them. But if I've got an opponent that's like following budget restrictions, or I've got an opponent that personally chose not to play Saga, then this card's just like two dead bring-ins.
Fire and discover the wheel and have agriculture and decode DNA and discover penicillin and all.
So it's just a question of, do I want to respect WhUrza's Saga before I've actually seen it out of their deck? Because I'm assuming they run it. Or do I want to actually see it, then bring it in? Let's see what I'm drawing. Rest down. Just a hanger back. Let's take a hanger back. Go. Yeah, you can name a Nexus, but like, at the end of the day, I don't really care about Inkmoth Nexus. And I don't want to bring in a card just to deal with something that like I'm already dealing with really well. Off Karn's back. Alright. Need another land. If I find a land here and kill the walking ballista, they, dang, I was gonna say they can't actually play out Luris. They'd have to animate Ink Moth to be able to tap Spire for colored mana. Really don't want to lose this game to not seeing a second land. Just kept like a double bobble opener. Pretty dead here. One land and 13 cards. If this was like a blood crypt instead of a watery grave, we might have a decent chance. Go for the ballista. Karn's Bastion, the funky one. Alright, game. So 4 more cards. Wasn't even a red source. There we go. First red source, like 20 something cards down. We were just dead on the next turn if he decided to pump the ballista into turn. Like, we knew all the cards we had. We could wait, but he didn't play land that turn, so... Kind of assuming he can figure out the line of pump ballista and attack. Heck, you're really gonna do this to me, aren't you? You know good and damn well I'm not going to learn a lesson off of getting wrecked by keeping a one-lander. Double Ozolith, Hardened Scale, Baz, Hangerback. I didn't want to start with Dragon's Rage Channeler just because they have so many really good one-drops. And, like, I need to take something. We're back on Uno. technically.
And I think most people are creative in one way or the other. A lot of people feel like they have a book in them, or they have a song in them, or they have a TV show idea. And you can sit around and talk about that all you want. But until it is actually reality, it doesn't count.
They'll have another Ozolith. Second Ozolith doesn't really matter. They've got Zabaz. They've got an WhUrza Saga. So I really want to find a fetch to get a blue source so that I can get Drown and then like all of my my dress downs and stuff are live after that. My Unholy Heating the Thopter Heat. Do I care?
I mean, when I was younger, I don't know how many songs I half wrote, but never quite finished, and never finished recording, or never even started recording. And no one knows that those songs existed. So it kind of doesn't count until you finish it and then put it out into the world.
Like, I would rather Unholy Heat the Ravager.
But there comes a time when finishing and moving on, I think, is vital. Otherwise, you're just holding on to all of these old works. And I think,
am I supposed to?
As any sort of creative person, you need to finish things.
I'm just gonna Unholy Heat the Ravager. He wants to sack like the Thopter and the Ozolith to the Ravager to keep it alive. I'm pretty okay with that. Now he's not sacking them to keep the Ravager around.
That cliche of art is not finished, it's abandoned. Yes, it can always be better. But you have to finish and you have to put it out, because otherwise you're just the guy talking about your art and you're not the guy doing it. You get better by doing it, finishing it, learning from that process, then moving on to the next thing.
Fetch. Okay. So I can attack Thoughtseize Shadow. As he makes a construct 3/3. Open for the attack there. The best draw is probably another Unholy Heat. I could upkeep, dress down the token. Is that worth it? if the channeler has to attack anyway, then I'm gonna say yeah. Never mind. Oh, snap. That's unfortunate. Rough. Snakeskin veil. That time we got snakeskin veiled in 2021. You get a welding jar. Maybe I'm supposed to respond to this, but
I'm wide awake at night without you by my side.
apparently it's a very difficult choice between welding jar and other Ozolith. Shadows. Last card in hand is another Ozolith. Suspense grows. All right. Whose terrible idea was it to give a land with modular? I don't have any way to make a token at instant speed, or make a make an artifact at instant speed, right? All right. How do we want to do this? I could block the 7/7, Unholy Heat the Thopter. Probably my best plan. But at least he has to re-equip. So this shrinks both of these. So it's no longer 6 and 3 trampling over. How's Dress Down working? It's been okay. I wouldn't go as far as saying like, oh my god, it's the best card ever. Why isn't everybody playing 12 copies of this? But it's been good. Get Channeler back. Say go here. So might need to double block a big construct. So I'm just really hoping to go to the next turn with the board about the same. This could be Luris to hand, play Luris. But if I get to the board, or if I get to next turn with the board pretty similar, then I feel okay. Because with this iteration, I've got a good chance of like finding an answer to the Luris. The Luris isn't doing anything this turn. Would I try Scourge of the Skyclaves in this deck? Well, it's not my list, so I wouldn't be changing too much. Attacking. I have to go Shadow Channeler. Does get to kill my Shadow here. Yeah, like Breed said, Scourge or Dress Down does just kill Scourges. That's a solid point. Alright. So Shadow from the yard, drown Luris. Okay, Shadow from the yard, drown Luris. Attack with my Luris. Then I get Shadow. Shadow shrinks to a 7/7. I would have to chump the construct. Alternatively, I could Shadow from the yard, pass, hold up, drown. That's probably a little bit. Well, no, because then he can Luris and like replay a big hanger back walker. Really don't want to deal with that. I could just offer to trade Lurises. It's like, I want to hold on to this drown so I'm not just dead to like a walking ballista off the top. Just gonna maybe drown and not attack. This is potentially going up to a 9/9, a 10/10 if he's got another artifact off the top. I think I'm just gonna drown and not attack here. Like, I'm still dead to a walking ballista, but I'm dead to a ballista regardless of what I do now that I've used my drown. On one. Okay. So he can Shadow Spear, move the Ozolith counters, and attack. And we trade. I keep my Luris. He loses his board. And I'm on like the Luris Bobble plan. Does he want to do that? He goes that route. We do have an EE or two EEs as answers to Chalice. Not to. Start with iteration. How aggressively am I looking for engineered explosives? So throwing an Ink Moth Nexus. Right. See, I think it's right to not attack once he gets trample with Shadow Spear. If you gain 3 life off Luris, that's just 3 life you lose to trample. If you attack there, you'd be at the same life total. You'd still have Construct, and you wouldn't have Luris untapped as just an in-case blocker. I think the argument is less about the life total being the same and more about, like, if he chooses not to attack, am I in a better spot for attacking with the Luris? Like, is it just upside to attack? Or is not attacking and still being on the receiving end of a trade-off worth it? Like, he could always misassign trample damage and I get to have my Shadow survive anyway. This is getting Shadow off the board, trading Shadow for the Construct. If that was the case, he shouldn't have tapped it. Yeah. Much. Oh, he's got the Bastion, right? Find your damage correctly. Good job. Probably gonna be it. What do you reveal? Temple Garden. Do I have to draw Drown in the Loch this turn? Alright. Far off were we? That's not what we need. Alright, so that game 2, keeping the one lander, never seeing the second, came back to bite us pretty hard. And then we don't have anything in the deck. Double check before I say something incorrect. I don't think there's anything in the deck that just like straight up says destroy an artifact, like no K commands, no abrade or anything like that. So yeah, EE was our only out to Chalice there. I feel like you should be more teched against Chalice than just 2 copies of Engineered Explosives, because of the number of people running around with Chalice against like the Rhino decks and Living End and all that stuff. Like there's just a pretty decent chance that some of those players are going to be bringing those in against you as well. I think I'd like to see like 1 or 2 more answers to Chalice. MRC, how's it going? Let's see, what's up? Quick question, what's the iteration between Dress Down and the Evoke? Oh, what's the interaction between Dress Down and the Evoke Elementals? So the Evoke Elementals will lose their Enter the Battlefield ability, and they'll also... Or I think they keep the evoke trigger, don't they? Let's see. This. Apparently there's a whole judge question or judge ruling on what happens. Sacrifice trigger comes with the evoke. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like it triggers from hand, not from the battlefield. They keep the creature? Interesting. Looks like another artifact opponent. Shadow. Double Cigar is Aid, Pure Steel, Esper Sentinel. So, am I just taking Esper Sentinel? Take Esper Sentinel, Bolt the Giver. But Pure Steel's like, I would just take Pure Steel. Stop the draw off of an equipment that they find. Next turn I can WhUrza and Shadow. WhUrza will turn Channeler into a 3/3. Yep. Two cards left. All right, see if one of their two draws was a hammer. Functionally, yes. Yes, it was. Careful, opponent. I'm all for taking 11. 11 is not dead. Treat it how you treat lands with Blood Moon. If it would be changed while on the battlefield, changed as it's entering the battlefield as well. AKA evoke and keep the guy. Fair enough. Got it. Hammer me, boss. It's like we've got a classic case of my guy's bigger than your guy. What list is this? This is AspiringSpike's list from this past weekend's Hunter Burton Memorial in Texas. Spike top 8'd with it, so decided to give it a shot. See how it went. Oh, Matt, since you're still in here, you want to pick me up like a 40-watt light bulb for whenever you leave work? Unless there's some just sitting around over here somewhere. Let's just go ahead and kill an Esper Sentinel. Take another Shadow. Hey, 11 generic mana to stop this. Now I can just look for a removal spell. Why didn't I pay one? Because that's not how Esper Sentinel works. Esper Sentinel says you have to pay 1 or pay X for its power. And its power was an 11/11 because of Hammer. So paying 1 conveniently does not help there. I'll bend and dress down. That would let me get back Grixis in a couple turns. Sure. Oh, you just had to pay one. That's the common idea with that card is I think everybody just assumes you pay one. Like, I know I would think that. But no, it is pay X for X is the power of Esper Sentinel. So I die if he's got another Pure Steel Paladin. Or no, because he 2 to play the Paladin, fire up the Ink Moth. You'd have to have a mana and a Pure Steel Paladin. Kill me here. Neither a mana nor a Pure Steel Paladin. Does dashing Ragavan do anything for me? He's got to chump both of these. He can escape Grixis, or he can not escape. He can replay Pure Steel with WhUrza next turn. I don't think this does anything unless, like, I hit hit a way to deal with WhUrza. Or a threat. I do not. Nope. I think I would probably consider that game a punt. I think I could have played a little more conservatively early. Oh, board out Grixis because of Sanctifier. Ragavan because they clog up the ground. Like, these are the kind of matchups that I feel like are pretty relevant in Modern, and Ragavan just doesn't feel that great to me. Like, it's another matchup where your opponent clogs up the board and then Ragavan's just eh. And no, I'm not saying that, like, having Tarmogoyf in that spot would have won me the game. Also played Iteration Bobble Bobble, like, what, 9 cards and none that did anything. True as well. One lander on the play, double hand disruption. Can't keep it. Getting burned by the one lander earlier does it to you. Man, I love all the Lurrus decks out here. Good modern there for sure. It's kind of funny because, like, I've said before that I think Lurrus kind of has homogenized the format. And, like, you look on Goldfish, and there's not a ton of Lurrus decks, but, like, every creature deck is a Lurrus deck, just about. Or every relevant creature deck's Lurrus deck. And then you start getting into, like, random control decks with Lurrus and things like that. In this league so far, we've had 3 out of 4 decks be Lurrus decks. I swear I countered or did something about you before. Way. Remember 3 mana creatures? What were those like? How long ago into the before time were 3 mana creatures? Is that like code for something? Go ahead and get Lurrus going. For Vendilion Click. Oh, V-Click. Do in fact love me some V-Click. If this goes and gets Shadow Spear, I can I guess it could get Pithing Needle. Hammer, sure. As the Paladin. There's no way I can stop Hammer from getting equipped to something. Them having Saga Paladin kinda sucks here. And they've got enough to animate Ink Moth. So if I Unholy Heat the Paladin here, two of their 4 top decks were just Sigarda's, second Sigarda's Aid plus a Paladin. Fortunately, that's pretty good against us. I have to block the Memnite. All right. So if I go Channeler, EE for 0. Closes to hand, bolt to the bottom, Channeler to exile. For 0. Does something. Build a Roman Thing deck with 4 Vendilion click, 1 Mistbind click. Call it V clicks. 5 clicks. I'd be a little over my pay grade. I like where your head's at. EE does not kill Nexus. It specifically says each non-land permanent. I love how they sandbagged a Sanctifier. Or not sandbagged, but like that was their card that we hadn't seen yet, or one of their 2. Sanctifier on Vet. Keep the Sanctifier on top because it's like better than a random card here. Or not Sanctifier, Channeler. I would like the second drown, so I think I'm gonna go drown to hand, Channeler to the bottom, exile the Shadow. I can play that. So at the very least, if my opponent starts getting frisky and tries to attack, I can have a pretty punishing swing on the backside. Yeah, it does say non-land. Same thing with like Abrupt Decay. For whatever reason, Abrupt Decay says non-land, so you can't blow up an Inkmoth. That's why for so long Inkmoth was so good against Jund. Because you had like Maelstrom Pulse that couldn't hit it. Abrupt Decay couldn't hit it. EE couldn't hit it. Liliana couldn't hit it. Don't care about extra hammers. I know their last card's a Pure Steel Paladin. Make this first so they can go ahead and equip right away as soon as it resolves. Going to. Risky, you want to get opponent? Shadow's a 6/6 when it comes back in, so we Gucci. Drown in the Lock will make Channeler delirious again. Do I have a kill here? If I drown this... Can't play Luris if I drown this. And I've got like a draw plus a Channeler trigger towards something that loses life. thing I want to change. On the draw, position's a little bit better. Maybe like one more Inquisition for an iteration. Iteration's a little clunkier on the draw. Really don't want to go through or have like multiples in my opening hand or see them too early. Yuck. I'd keep it if you could promise me there was a fetch land on top of my library. I don't believe you can make that promise. Hey, Esper Sentinel. He likes you. Alright, so I've pretty well gotten into the habit with hand disruption against this deck of just like casting it into the Esper Sentinel. They get the draw, but I get to resolve my Inquisition anyway, so it's kind of 1 for 1. And I just think that the information gain's a lot more relevant. I'm probably just gonna like terminate the Esper Sentinel into their turn. Ink Moth. I could have bobbled after the Inquisition, but I kind of just wanted to save the bobble in case I happen to draw into a Channeler. Here. Right hand. Just take a hammer. Fly buzzing around over here. The plane's off the top, eh? Got Midnight, 2 planes, drawing a 3rd plane. Construct, yep. Is it 2? They get something. 3, Midnight's 4, Animate Ink Moth is 5. Guess it depends how much they respect me having a removal spell here. Alright, so I could iteration looking for another land. Is that too greedy? I'm gonna do it. Go drown in hand, peek to the bottom, delta to exile. It's attack. Obviously would have preferred a land that could get a basic mountain, but I don't think it's too likely that I'm going to be forced to fetch and shock an Unholy Heat this turn. Possible, but... fly. Holy heating anything. I could. No. I just like have to attack with the channeler anyway. I want to put WhUrza in the hand. Go to 2. I can hold up 1 spell. No, because I'm just... I'd have to let him, like, resolve WhUrza and kill one of these things and they get back Sanctifier. Jerry Dice, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Monday so far. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. I will take an engineered explosive. The list of cards that I'm accepting of at the moment, engineered explosives is on them. You have a Sanctifier too? Okay. I was gonna be ticked if his last card was another Sanctifier. Do it. Don't do it. Really want the clean sweep up with this EE. I don't think it's unreasonable to not attack here. Like, I'm repping interaction pretty hard. Alright, now am I going to one to add WhUrza to my hand? Yes, because if they have a removal spell, I'm dead to the Ingenious Smith anyway. There's not a difference between 1 and 2 at the moment. Ditch that. WhUrza. Channeler. There you go. Last song sounded like a lullaby. Guess that makes sense with a name like Catnap. Yep. You're on the Sentinel, sure. I guess this is to, like, try to get me to tap out when I play WhUrza next turn. So I can attack with a shadow and force a chump. But that chump's probably just going to be the Ink Moth Nexus. I can also play WhUrza and just not cast anything off of it. Let's do that. Let's go Channeler, attack, because it has to. And then we'll play WhUrza and just not cast anything. Say go. I can figure out what I want to do about this stuff as this turn plays out. Like if I bolt the Esper Sentinel at the end of their turn, this can't be right. Bolting the Esper Sentinel, but don't think like suiciding your guys in there is the play. Okay. Fair enough. On to match 5. Nice plays, Tim. Where'd we get Tim? I changed IDs. Nobody tell me I had my name swapped. Nice plays, John. Thanks, Richie. Appreciate it, Dwayne. Actually, Matt, I think you look more like a Francis. I'm gonna go with that one. Did I just get a Twitter follow from I'm Reddist? Oh man. Look at that loser. Erlder. You're probably calling me Francis. Well, you look like a Francis. I don't make the rules. Alright. I'm just gonna play out Ragavan here. Against a Yorion deck, I feel like there's an okay chance of it surviving. And if it is like Yorion taxes or something, then hopefully like Bobble can find me a second land. I might be able to kill something. Know the rules, and so do I. Full commitments. I'm dreaming of. Attic ending. Follow themselves, see a prismatic in. So if that's the case, I'm just gonna chill on a... Oh yeah, I get to exile that. Heck yeah. Well then we going for lands. No! No! Oh! Magic, why have you forsaken me? No! We needed that. Needed that to hit. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Take it away, chat. Oh, please don't be a Renin 6. Please don't be a Renin 6. Please don't be a Renin 6. Ah, yes, Goblin Engineer. That's what I expected here. Naturally. As much as I want their Shadow Spear right now. Alright, another Engineer. WhUrza, Talisman, WhUrza. Just taking this other Engineer. So hopefully I can attack through with a Ragavan again next turn. I'm getting to Drown in the Loch in WhUrza territory. Actually, we're getting to Drown in the Loch in Kaldra complete territory. So, that's kind of cool, I guess. Land. Of these days. These days. It lands. Want your Stone Forge. It is of no interest to me. Chalice of the Void. Ironically, not high up on my priority list right now. Not saying I'm just gonna like freely let it resolve, but seen worse. What would Tarn Pass mean? Okay. Get their little Rajavan. Their hands, Cauldron complete, WhUrza, Chalice, unknown. That was... and Saga. How crazy is just like chill on double drown in the lock? Is that like too greedy? Like play a Grixis, see what happens. I'm just gonna chill on the double drown. This. 2. Don't really want that to go get a Thopter Foundry. This enters, trigger on the stack, will kill the WhUrza. Get a 2/2. Alright, so I can dress down and kill this. But then Ragavan loses the hit you ability. I think I'm just going for Grixis here. Cauldron gone. His hands, Chalice, unknown. I don't think I wanted to dress down into Grixis just because I wanted the ETB ability. Chalice is fine. I'll take 3. Snaring. Escaping Croaks. One card in hand. Correctly. Red, black, black, red. About saving Delirium. One land, one artifact. Instant, a sorcery. Last card was a Whir of Invention. Ooh. Is a Yorion. Alright, so last card's Yorion. So we get to just play dress down, kill the construct, swing in. Oh yeah. Alright. Well, I saved the dress down. You didn't attack with Ragavan anyway, and you could pressure him. I wanted to save the dress down to kill his construct at the end of his turn, but I didn't want to tap out because I'm just dead to something like a Thopter Foundry going. So I wanted to hold up Drown in the Lock through his turn. And as we see, his draws were like the Whir of Invention plus Ensnaring Bridge. So if I had tapped out and just gotten the Croaks on board, I'd have just been dead to the Ensnaring Bridge. Because I wouldn't be able to attack into it to get the Croaks to triggers. I could see an argument for like any of these. I feel like this might be too many dress downs though. Dress down after attack. You mean that last turn? I mean, I could if we just wanted to like style on them, but we knew their last card was Yorion, so they couldn't do anything. But yes, if we wanted to style on our opponent, we could have dressed down after attacking, gotten our attack trigger. Poured out like a couple bolts because they don't kill WhUrza. I have 3 cuts to make. Do I want Croaks in this match? Do I want to just like board out the dress down package? Let's see. I feel like I got a lot of stuff that's like average in this matchup. Not a ton of stuff that just feels phenomenal. Pretty easy no land mulligan. Or just gonna bottom the swamp. It doesn't get me closer to the shadow, doesn't cast any of my spells. Definitely a weak link. Hunter. Emery, Thopter. We need to find a red source to be able to kill some Emerys. Red source, red source, red source. Magic God up there, and he's not liking us having second lands today. Before anybody says anything, basic swamp would be doing absolutely nothing for us here. I don't want to hear any, oh, well, you bottomed to second land. Of course you're going to get mana screwed. I bottomed to basic swamp, yes. Because it was doing so much to help our hand. Still support my decision. Alright. Now that we've seen Emery. So many cards I want, but I don't want. Like, I have no idea what I want to board out in this match. Alpine Moon, something you really want? No, but they've got WhUrza's Saga. Alpine Moon's just like a good piece of interaction against that card. Shut off Inventor's Fair. Like, if I'm not running Alpine Moon, I'm running Dress Down. It's not like Dress Down's going to be good here. I don't really want Grixis against the deck that gets Graveyard Recursion. Hey, Mike Swamp Ass is best Swamp Ass. Thank you. Alright. Pretty good hand. Just gonna get Channeler down here. Playing 80 cards, there's no way they draw all Sagas, famous last words. I know my luck. My luck is that my 80 card opponent is going to top deck what they need to top deck.
I think everybody needs a friend. So we're going to give him one right here.
Anyone who doubts drawing a 4 of into your own deck is face your own taxes of turn 1 Vala every turn. Pretty much, yeah. Like, I've had enough games of... Alright, calm down. Calm down. Just a game. Just a game. Hobble. Chalice of the Void, Word of Invention. Take the Chalice so we can continue playing Magic. Soul Guide that they know about. Rajavan. I could bin it and turn on the Channeler. Or keep it and make the EE better. I think I'm going to bin it. And we'll pop a Chalice. Yeah, I can't count the number of times that my Yorion Taxes opponents have had, like, turn 1 Vile, turn 2 Leonin Arbiter, turn 3 Ghost Quarter you or Field of Ruin you. Just like, that seems pretty good, yeah. Man, maybe I should have played those cards. Spire Bluff. Go ahead and take a Whir of Invention. Got a Uldra Complete.
I think everybody needs a friend, so we're going to give him one right here.
Still opponent. Most hits pretty hard. I could just crack and draw a card. Depends on the craftsmanship of the lamppost. If they don't do anything here, I'm probably just cracking this Soul Guide to draw. Something. Vibe. Take a turn off and that's what we get. Out of here, OP. Yori on me. Am I saving Dress down to be able to flash in response to a Yorion? Yorion can bounce. I guess doesn't really matter if it bounces the portable hole. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. I can't counter Yorion because they only have 4 cards in their graveyard. So despite my best efforts, I can't counter something with CMC 5. Otherwise, yes, I would counter it. That would be an excellent play if it were something I were allowed within the rules of the game to do. But I think if they cast Yorion, I think I let it resolve. Because if they bounce Imri, then I might get to drown a Yorion. And I don't really care if they bounce Portable Hole because I get a shadow back and then they take a shadow. So what's the worst that happens here? This battlefield, exile target online permanent and opponent controls a value 2 or less until it's not like all copies with the same name. Yeah, so this comes in and like best case scenario is they blink Emery and then I get to drown the Yorion, which they decide to do. Now, end of turn, I can drown or I can dress down. I can drown the Yorion. Our turn. Bubble. Something. Attack. Owen fan, drown now, then if they don't block Shadow, they die. Right. Which is what Bench was saying, too, that we think they're pretty likely to block the Ragavan if they block it all here. And Dress Down is lethal if that's the case. Or they just don't block at all. Hey. Alright. What did I think of that one? Felt a lot better than it did the last time I played the deck. Because last time, like I said, I was really big on trying to force dress down interactions. And that part wasn't really working for me. Like, I was making myself have awkward, like, dress down Grixis turns. And that just wasn't the way to play the deck. This turn, I was a lot more patient with my dress downs. And they showed out pretty well. We killed a bunch of constructs and stuff, shut off some abilities. So, dress down did look pretty nice that league. Ragavan was pretty subpar, but we also saw like multiple decks. I think like 3 matches or something with 1 mana cheap creatures on the other side. Like we saw, what was it? Hardened Scales twice. We saw a mono white artifact deck with like Esper Sentinels and Giver of Runes, but it wasn't Hammer Time. No Hammer package. And then we did see Hammer Time. So 4 out of our 5 opponents just like clogged up the ground. The Ragavan wasn't the most impressive to me. Grixis didn't look too great. I think we escaped it once. I'd probably argue that just like Shadow and Drown in the Loch were our 2 kind of MVPs that league. Out of the sideboard, we didn't see a Flusterstorm matchup. We brought in the other dress down in the Alpine Moons a good bit, but we saw like 4 WhUrza Sagas decks. Unholy Heat was good. Terminate, we didn't see in any of the matchups. We brought it in. Unearth didn't look good, but we didn't see any Unearth matchups. Soul Guide, I always feel like I would rather this just be Nihil Spellbomb. But I get that the leyline prevalence is important. And then EE looked like an all-star. So let's update our matchup guide. That was the other mono or black-white deck. Was just like a food deck with a bunch of cheap artifacts. So 1-1 there. And then the last round was Jeskai, WhUrza. I guess we'll pop chests.